The number one question that I ask to all of my business clients right now, it's every week when we're meeting, is how are you using AI to help augment your staff? The issue that comes up, and this is where, this we're going to talk about in the article today, is that the conversation, really has shifted from not really being brought up too much about a year and a half, 2 ago, as we were just kind of talking about it, to now where if even a small business does not have and think about how they can use AI to augment their staff or even not hire someone, they are going to be at a competitive disadvantage in most, if not all, industries. It's just the way it goes right now. And what we're seeing from the big boys, and we're going to take a look at an article from Business Insider today, as well as I've got an infographic that I put together to help kind of explain everything here and what we're really up against when it comes to the reshaping of what it is to do work in companies nowadays. One of the issues we're seeing is that the work that had to be done by people, and we see this now, is being replaced. It's been replaced since about 2022 is where we really get into it, and it's only going to get worse from here, folks. Like, that's the thing. So what does that mean for you as an employee? What does that mean for a small business owner? How in the heck do you even compete with this? And that's what we're going to be talking about here today. Again, for those that don't know, my name is Ryan Howe. I'm a business coach who works out of West Michigan and around the country. I come here live pretty consistently every single day, just sharing information I share with my clients, and I hope to earn your subscription. So let's get into it here. So this is articles from Business Insider. Again, links in the description. Be sure to go check that out. The end of the mega employer. For more than a century, armies of office workers were a necessary cost of doing business, not anymore. And that is something that we are seeing across the board, not just in the mega employers, right? These large companies that have hundreds of thousands of employees, even down into small business world, there's folks that are removing people that they're able to, automate a lot of the work now, and it's continuing down that road. All right, so you can see here, what it used to be, rows and rows. Now in June, Amazon CEO Andy Jassy had a blunt message for his 350,000 corporate employees, and we covered that on this channel. We actually talked about this particular statement that he had. There are going to be fewer of them in the near future thanks to efficiency gains he expected from AI. The proclamation generated big headlines and uproar from staff, but it struck me as merely honest. And this is what people who have basically, they have their head in the sand right now, that think their job isn't able to be replaced. I'm a certified exit planner. I'm a business coach. I come in and help business owners get their businesses ready to sell. It's what I do. And 3 years ago, when I really first started getting heavy in the business here, I dove deep into large language models because I saw very quickly that not just could I be replaced, I needed to be able to show how basically my prowess with AI to be able to use and augment my own skill set so that I wouldn't be replaced. And I can show this is how I'm bringing value to my clients. That I couldn't just be replaced by asking ChatGPT, what should I work on now for my business, right? So that's one of the things and there's so many people that have lived that way, that thought, oh man, I can't, this, whatever, it's a cool little thing. And then they wake up one day and now they're out of a job. And that's what we're seeing, not just large companies, but in small businesses as well. Now, Jassy hasn't been the only executive that hinted at a future of lower headcount. JP Morgan, consumer and community business, predicted that in May, AI will reduce the number of employees in its operations division by 10%. And I do think that's probably a low number. I think it may start with 10%, but I see that number continue to go down. The CEO of Klarna has said that the company's investments in AI have already driven the company's headcount to shrink by 40%, folks. And the CEO of Ford, company that employs tens of thousands of white-collar professionals, declared AI will wipe out literally half of all white-collar jobs. We covered that again as well here. And this is where we're dealing with here, folks, is that just like when the internet started, all right, at first it was some silly stuff and just little things here and there. But as people figured out how to monetize and get better and really start to think of what you can do with the internet, one, it created some jobs for sure. But in this case, it's replacing a ton of jobs that were just data entry and other things, right? Lots of stuff. Now, CEO and founder of the software startup Workera tells me that He never wants to have more than 80 or so employees he has today. No matter how successful his business ends up becoming, I truly believe we can go super, super far without growing more. He's an engineer and doesn't want any more. So we're gonna come back to this in a second here. So let's take a moment, kind of unpack some of that. And then we're gonna take a look at an infographic that I put together, kind of summarize this article so we could just hit kind of the key points instead of reading everything. I'll tell you right now, this is what we're seeing. If you're a CEO, and if you're a hiring manager, if you're an operator, whatever you are, and you're looking to hire, your first question really should be, is AI an opportunity for me to do? Can I use AI here? Is there something I can get with a large language model? And if the answer is yes, you should spend time on that just to be competitive. But the second part is, with the people that you currently have, the next question needs to be, how can I use the large language models to help them perform better? Because you already have invested time and energy and money into these folks. They're your employees. We care about them. We don't want to just necessarily just replace them. But for any new jobs, that's what I'm talking to my clients about. Yo, hey, let's take a look at how we can, before hiring, is this something that we really should just be, automating? All right, so let's take a look. This is a infographic I had Claude put together for me from the article, and let's cover some of the high points here. And this is something that I send out to my clients so they have a better idea of understanding these articles. That's what I do for my clients, right? So we've had 130,000 tech jobs cut in 2025. 130,000, folks. This one is here from the World Economic Forum. 41% of companies are planning AI-driven cuts. Forum survey shows nearly half plan workforce reductions by 2030. It's already happening, but it's going to continue. They're expecting 300 million jobs to be impacted by this globally, and 77% of companies are reskilling workers, organizations, basically in training to work alongside AI. It's just what has to happen now. For those that are, I've got a little age to me. I'm 46, and I was at the early phases of this when they brought in a lot of like Microsoft Office and some other things that they were doing. We had to spend a lot of money on training folks like me, the new folks, and everybody on how to use these new software tools. This is no different. We want to keep our folks, keep them trained. We got to keep them educated. I will reiterate exactly what I'd said now for the better part of 3 years. If you are not spending 30 minutes a day learning in a large language model like Claude, ChatGPT, whatever you want to use, Gemini, and just playing around and learning and practicing your prompts, you are not gonna make it. I just tell you right now, you're gonna get steamrolled. Okay, so here's the great shrinking that's going on. Amazon, their cuts. Microsoft, sorry, 15,000. Walmart, 1,500. Chegg, 22% of the workforce, folks. 22%. That's wild. All right, so again, the timeline, how they got here. Again, we got the early adopters, and I remember these are really interesting. And this is where we all saw this coming. Companies like MSN began replacing journalists with freelancers. And we saw the freelancers were getting wiped out in basically when the pandemic started. We were coming out of it. They're like, yo, I can just have this thing be write this article for me. And nobody cared. I mean, I just be honest about that. No one really, like, oh, okay, cool. The news is being summarized by a bot. Great. Who cares? Love it. Just keep it coming. Next spot here, we're basically entry-level positions declined by 15% in 2024. They just got rid of them because they automated them. And now IBM, Klarna, everyone is talking about AI is completely taken over. In the next 5 years, folks, 4.5, we're just going to see a complete rework of what it means to have a job in corporate America. So here is the key insights that again, when I'm talking about educating my clients on, it's not about a financial crisis. Companies posting record profits while cutting staff. Microsoft revenue is up 13% after cutting 15,000 jobs. It's not a response to any financial pressure. It's a response to, we can automate the work. Why should we have labor? Like, that's all it is. The jobs that are mostly work: clerical, graphic designer, legal, secretaries, customer service, HR, and content creation. So doing stuff like this, it's at risk. And then the efficiency paradox. Companies claiming AI efficiency gains. Now, there's other ones that have had issues with it. And I think it's just more of a matter of, okay, how are we going to utilize it? There's stuff being tested around, like McDonald's. their AI drive-through didn't work out too well, and same thing with Amazon's tracking system wasn't there. However, if you've been to Sam's Club, you'll know they have a just walk out system that works perfect. So it just kind of depends what you're doing. All right, now the last bit here is this is where I talk to my clients about, specifically if you're a small business owner. And then we're going to talk about employees, what you can be doing after this. Now, assess your AI vulnerability. Which of your processes could be automated? And again, where are you the bottleneck as the individual? One of the things that I did is I automated my client research and preparation. I used to, take me a day or two to really put everything together. I've since automated it with Claude and ChatGPT. Have kind of both mixed in together to do different things. It now does everything in the background in like 7 minutes. Request comes in and boom, I get an email. Here's all your stuff, which, that's just one of the things you can do. Human advantage. There is a human advantage we don't want to forget about, right? Because we are people who want to talk to people. AI strategy. We want to talk about, there should be part of any work that you're doing. There should be an AI strategy involved. And lastly is going to be measure your progress. Again, value builder score. And I had that on there again. So value builder, just for those that are watching, that is the program that I use, the assessment that I use with my clients. There's a link down in the description. You can go check it out. It takes like 13-15 minutes. It's free. And you'll learn more about where your business is and how well it's structured. Okay. So if you're an employee, here is I've already talked about this, but I will continue to reiterate this. If you are not spending 30 minutes a day learning a large language model, you are going to be out of a job soon. Like, it's just going to happen. Your job is probably not safe. There may be, one-offs here and there, but your job is not protected. You need to be doing that. Secondly, as far as employees, be open to the possibility you might have to start contracting your services out and actually become a 1099 contractor. That may end up being the case because you may end up doing just jobs, like multiple jobs across different companies as they need work done. Mainly just because keeping staff on hand in case work comes up isn't going to be a sustainable model anymore. And that's what you see with a lot of the larger companies. There's a lot of not necessarily downtime, but time where where individuals are not necessarily, working at full capacity. So there's going to be a need to move more of that labor off into, just in time. When I need it, let's hire out and let's get after it. Okay. So really, at the end of the day, that's what you need to be thinking about here. What are you doing to make sure that you can leverage AI to your greatest possible extent, those large language models? And then also, just an employee, be open to the fact that you may, if you want to be an employee and you don't want to start your own business and do your own thing, you're going to have to understand that you have almost no job security left anymore. Just kind of where it's at, folks. I'm not a fan of it. I just live in reality, and then reality is undefeated, and that's what we're up against. Okay. So with that, I appreciate everybody hung out this long. I'm not trying to be doom and gloom about this. Just to be clear, I don't know how this is all going to turn out. No one does, but by 2030, 2035, no idea how this is going to turn out. I do know that it is going to be different, and whatever we're doing right now isn't going to be working in the future. So you've got to be able to be flexible, and you've got to be able to make adjustments. Okay. So with that, I appreciate everybody hung out this long. Take care. And I'll